here to do a book review, and that is for The Gilded by Roshani Chokshi, and I'm so glad that I'm finally filming this review because I just keep putting them off every week because other things come up or I'm just lazy, which is like a normal state for me at the moment. But I'm finally here to give you my thoughts and feelings about The Gilded Wolves, and this will have spoilers in it because I want to talk about a few things that do happen in the plot. So if you haven't read this book, probably don't watch this video, but I'm excited to get into this. Now, this is a book I've been pretty excited about for like a couple of years. It was like first announced in 2017 and it was meant to come out in 2018, and then it got pushed back to 2019, and then I finally got my hands on it and I like knew I had to read it, so I brought it to Hong Kong with me to read, and I didn't really read it because I was too excited about all the things that were happening in my life. This book actually took me like 15 days to read, so it was a bit weird because I was reading it over such a long period of time that I was like, oh, dying. But it was a really good story and I enjoyed all the characters, and what I really liked about this is they were already a group before the book started. They were already a found family and like a heisty group. It wasn't just recruiting everyone last minute and everyone hates each other and no one gets along. Like, everyone loves each other, and I loved it. So the hardest part of this book for me was understanding the magic system. So this book was set in like an alternate Paris. Like, it was our version of Paris, just there's magic basically. It was set with different things being important to history though, and like none of our world history was important. It was more about the other things. But I liked having the Paris setting because anything to do with Paris makes me very excited and I love it. So in this book, the magic is called a forging, and you can either have magic of the mind or magic of matter. The magic was like stuff that you don't normally see that I think was cool, but felt more like it was science than actual magic. It felt like so steampunk, machinery, sciencey, like doing experiments, and I was just confused for a lot of it because there was no sense really to why some people have it, some people don't, why there are these important houses that have magic abilities and other people that have magic abilities, and it was just really confusing. And like with the houses, there's always a person that like rules the houses and they have these rings, and the rings do something, but they're also all after artifacts for some reason because they want to put their names on it or something, and I'm just like, who cares? And like all of this was happening, and like the first 100 pages I didn't get any clearer for me, and I'm sitting here like, what is this about? So I kind of had to just push it away from my brain and keep reading, even though I wasn't sure what was actually going on. So Severin is basically our main character. Like, even though there was different point of views, he was like the one we were really focusing on, but he's like a great mastermind. He's a thief, he's classy, and he also owns a hotel, and I'm like, bruh, you're 18 and you like run a hotel. So I have to keep looking at my notes because it's been 2 months since I read this, and I'm like, what was this book about? So he is also the last member of House Vanna, but the order declared the house dead 10 years ago. Ever since, Severin has been taking back items that belong to his house and trying to get House Vanna back to the light. So like that's his whole like ultimatum, is he just wants to be like the head of his house, wants his house to be built back up again. He wants to be famous, y'all, and he's just stealing a lot of shit. But I really did like him. Like, he's very protective of the people around him, he's very resourceful, and he's just a good leader. Really just wanted him to succeed in this book. So Tristan was the baby of the group, and he's just adorable, and everyone just wanted to protect him, and he was just this cute little cinnamon roll, and I loved him. So he has the ability to like grow plants, but to also grow plants that like have never existed before, and he can just make them be whatever he wants. He can make like poisonous darts or food or just different things to make the plants do like cool things, and like that's a pretty interesting power. And he just potters around in his little workshop and just makes things, and it's adorable, and everyone is so protective and they just want to look after him and make sure he's okay. And also his relationship with Severin was so cute because they grew up together, so Severin really feels like he has to protect him because it's like his little baby brother. And like they went through 7 different families and they were always on the move, and some of the people tortured them. Like, they did not have a happy childhood, but they made it together. And just saying, I felt that it was happening, but I do not believe Tristan deserved to die, okay? He was too innocent. This is always a trigger to think someone's gonna die, as if they don't have a POV, shit's about to go down, or they're hiding something. So we never got any part of his brain. But literally though, we never got to find out that he was semi a sicko. He used to capture birds, rip their wings off, and just keep them in his drawer and torture them. And I'm like, Tristan, what is wrong with you? You deserve to die. And you know that Lila knew the whole time and she didn't say anything? I'm like, girl, you should have got that fixed, man. He was killing things. But yeah, like I wasn't expecting expecting a blow like in the first book though, so I was pretty happy that they were like, bam, we're gonna kill one of these people off and it's gonna be really bloody and great. Okay, so Lila was a character that really interested me, and she has the ability that if she touches an item, she's able to see the whole history of it. And she's also a dancer at Eden, or just Eden, I'm not actually sure. No one knows it's her except for the main group, and like she's this fabulous like dancer, and she always wears masks and stuff, so like she's always in to hear information and stuff, and she can like go in and touch things and figure out what's going on. And she's also looking for this book that will hopefully figure out what she is, because when she was born stillborn, and she was saved by someone who could forge, but Lila believes that she is now made and that she will die very soon, so she doesn't believe that she's kind of like a real person. And apparently she's gonna die like by her 21st birthday or something, and she needs to find this book to figure out what's going on so that she does not die, you know, so like get the drama. But I definitely think that she was the most complex out of all the characters, and she had so many different things happening to her that I was just very excited to keep reading about her. And also for the fact that she had a relationship with Severin prior to the book, so all the angst. They had a night in the past where they slept together and neither of them can stop thinking about it, but you know, there's no feelings. Yet there is, and they just look at each other all the time and like caressing touches where they don't mean to, and it's always like, oh I have a heart, and I'm like, yes, I love these type of relationships, because it ain't insta love, it is I am trying not to love. And I really do feel that they could have just talked to each other to be like, hey boo, I really liked having that time with you, we should like explore this, but no, they had to make it angsty. Zovia. She was a great character anyway, but she had the ability to make things like gadgets and explosives, and she gets so invested in it too. Like she could just spend days just building things and not even eating, not even moving, not even sleeping. She is amazing. And just saying, even though it is not said in the book, I am pretty sure she's autistic, because it's a hard thing in these fantasy settings, because they're not just going to know about the spectrum and autism and like Asperger. These are terms that probably people didn't know in these worlds, but we can see it as readers because it's in our world. And also to have these characters where people aren't trying to be all like, oh my god, there's something wrong with you, it's just how she is, and they all love her for it. And it doesn't stop her from being amazing and like making a lot of the plans work, because she bold. And also she had the cutest relationship with Lila, and Lila always looks after her and like sets out food for her, and it's so cute. And like, yay to female friendships, because we need more of that in books. Enrique is the book smart one, and I really did enjoy him as well. Like he just knows so much about everything, and every time there was a puzzle to crack, he just got it. Like he just knew all this stuff, and he'd be like, yep, I read this book 6 million years ago that told me about this thing, and I understand, because he's read like every book that's ever been published, so he just knows everything. And I gotta say too, he was just really funny as well, and he was so vain, but in the best way, because he just wanted to look good all the time, and if he didn't look good, he was just like, oh god, no. So Hypnosis is the last member of the crew, and he was a new addition because he blackmailed his way in, and he is just a messy drama bitch, and I loved him. So he's meant to be like a villain of sorts, but he was never that for me. He gave me Darkling vibes if the Darkling was like a good person. Like he honestly just wanted to have friends, because he doesn't have any friends, because he's one of the heirs to one of the families, so he's got his own ring, and he's just not allowed to socialize with people as much, and he just wants to have some people to hang out with. And he was absolutely my type of favorite snarky character, and he was probably one of my faves. I also love the love triangle between Zoffy, Enrique, and Hypnosis, with Enrique being in the middle, because Hypnosis was just my bi queen. Obviously he would like girls, but he loved Enrique and they were flirting all the time. But then Enrique's like, oh god, I think Zofia is pretty, what do I do? And I honestly couldn't tell you which one I wanted to happen more, because both couples would be good. But all these characters were such strong personalities, and there was no one that felt left out in my opinion. Like maybe Tristan, just because we didn't get a point of view from him, but it was such a diverse group as well, and I loved that as well, that it wasn't all just straight white people. Like we had so much going on, and I love that. And just saying, in the end of the book, of course the fallen house rises again, because they want to take the power, and they fell a long time ago and now they're back. And like the battle at the end got pretty intense, and I was semi-worried. Even though Tristan did end up dying, I was still worried about everyone. And there's another like plot bomb, is Severin actually isn't the heir to House Varnus, and I'm thinking that he might be for the Fallen House because they like disappeared and he's just this random kid that popped up and then he's with Tristan and they're chilling, and I'm feeling he's going to be like an heir to the Fallen House, and it's going to be like, is he evil? Is he not? Is he going to make the house better? Like, I don't know, but I'm pretty excited. So I did find this to be a very good read, and I totally think everyone needs to pick it up if you haven't, because this has been out for a while. So I feel like a lot of people would have read this by now, but definitely the cast of characters was the best thing about this book, because the plot had me going a bit like, oh shit, what is going on? But overall, I really enjoyed this and it was just a really fun read. But anyway guys, thanks for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you guys later.